Hey, happy Friday. This is Jerry here. Hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to do my shoot here so you guys can see the mountains I'm looking at today. But I want to talk to you this afternoon, about how to get rich and famous. Because I know some secrets about how to get there. I actually wrote an article, I posted it here. So before I do that, I need to make sure you guys know who I am. I'm Jerry, I own Wealth Dynamics, and my job is to help you create a life of abundance and prosperity. And part of that is to help you make wise financial decisions. Decisions that cause you to make money, to keep it and to multiply it. So I'm going to teach you guys how to get rich and famous. Now the advice I'm going to give you is real because people have done it, but I do not want you to follow it. So to get rich and famous, according to empirical data, if you observe, all you need to do is find out how to steal large amounts of other people's money without them knowing about it. And the way you do that, I'm going to give you 3 examples. Now I don't want you to follow any of this. So in the 1700s, the United States came up with our first central bank. A central bank is an organization that runs the monetary system of a country. And so they do currency control, they increase the currency supply, they increase and suppress interest rates, and they basically monitor everything that happens with a country's money. And so in 1913, a group of private bankers met on an island off the coast of Georgia called Jekyll Island. And this group of people proceeded to create what's known as the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not federal, it's actually a private bank, and it's not a reserve. So it's actually it's a private organization that creates currency and then distributes that currency out to citizens in the United States. And in addition to that, it's owned by a group of private bankers. At this point in time, no one knows who owns it, but if you go to the Federal Reserve website, it says the owners of the Federal Reserve get a 6% dividend on all profits from the Federal Reserve. Same thing happened on that same event. Right afterwards, the IRS was created. There's not any sort of coincidence there. Those two things work in tandem. Okay, Federal Reserve prints money, increases the currency supply. We as U.S. citizens pay for that through taxation. The IRS collects taxes and pays it back to the Federal Reserve as the collection agency of the Federal Reserve. Now, if you fast forward to 1929, the Great Depression, it was actually caused by monetary manipulation by the Federal Reserve Bank. Yes, it was a stock market crash. It was artificial. It was done by the Federal Reserve Bank. So that's the first group of people. And these are people that they made massive money. They got rich. They got famous. You should not exemplify them. And in fact, you should stay as far away from them as you can. Second group, Wall Street. Wall Street was started in the 1700s as well. And it was actually a group of 24 different brokers. They were trading just 5 stocks on the New York Stock Exchange. They signed their charter. They began the New York Stock Exchange on Wall Street. And give it a couple of centuries, same thing, 1929, right? The Great Depression. That was when Wall Street really started getting hit with regulation. People were selling securities that weren't real. They were faulty. People were losing money on those. And so that industry got regulated. But the regulations that came out in 1929, what it really did is it created a monopoly. And so it regulated small firms out. It kept the large firms in. Well, guess who the large firms were? The large firms are the same people that own the Federal Reserve. It's the same group of people. So in the banking industry, you're being taken advantage of by the Federal Reserve banking system. In Wall Street, it's the same individuals, just a different business. They're doing the same thing. And literally, guys, they are costing you trillions of dollars, globally, trillions of dollars a year in revenue that's generated off of fees. Okay, the third group of people to get rich and famous, financial advisors. Okay, I am not a financial advisor. I do not let my clients call me that. That for me, that's actually a dishonest or a dishonor to be called that name. I hate it. Financial advisors. Did you know your financial advisor could be a criminal? Being a criminal, as crazy as it sounds, does not bar somebody from becoming a financial advisor and telling you what to do with your money. So if you look it up, they have to disclose things, but they don't have to actually not apply. They can still get a piece of paper certified by the government, slapped on their wall that says this person can tell you what to do with money. They're allowed to collect from you. They're allowed to do investments on your behalf. They could have murdered somebody. They could have kidnapped. They could have been involved in fraud, anything under the sun, and there's still a chance that they can get a license and sell you a financial product and take your money. So I'm not talking about all financial advisors here. Obviously, some of them are good people. You know, they're not criminals, but there are people out there that are criminals and you don't know which is which. So I'm not addressing the good people. I mean, there are people that have families. They're doing the best they can with what they have. I will say what they have is overpriced. It kills you with fees and it doesn't work. But we're not talking about those individuals. We're talking about people like Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street. For whatever reason, is nationally celebrated. Did you know that he stole $200 million from his investors, over 1,500 clients? He lost $200 million. Guys, that's more money than most of us are ever going to see in our entire lives. $200 million. And the result, he spent 22 months in prison. He had to promise to pay back half of it, which he still hasn't done. And then he had a movie made out of it. Now he's a sales trainer and he's nationally renowned. So the people that you're giving your money to, the financial services industry, banks, Wall Street financial advisors, these people are harming your finances. These groups, they're not in it for you. These are products that are created to generate a profit. This is why my company exists. So I don't do any of the retail stuff. I believe that you need to be out on your own individually looking at finances, not just turning it over to an advisor and trusting that they're going to do the right thing. Statistically, they're not. The result is right now America is broke. So if the products and services and the advice worked, we wouldn't all be paycheck to paycheck. We wouldn't all be running low on retirement. We wouldn't all be swimming in debt. And the bottom line is, like I always say, competence is gauged by results. So what I want to do for you is, if you're interested in learning more about what I do, I can provide you with information. That's really where the starting point is: information, education, so that you can make a good decision based on your finances, putting a plan together, looking at the numbers, looking at the math, figuring out what's needed, figuring out what's not needed, and then spending time together to find out what exactly are the steps in sequence that need to be taken to get you where you need to go. The whole thing is a mathematical and logical process. There's no flashy product. There's nothing that's going to make or break it. It's going to be you consistently making money, keeping it, and multiplying it in the right spots. Part of keeping your money means not being taken advantage of. It means not paying fees. It means not having yourself frauded by somebody that claims they know what they're talking about. Okay, so guys, I'm going to go ahead and tune out. If you're interested in learning more about what I do, go to my website, www.wealthdynamics.com. That's DYNAMX.com. I posted the link for the article I wrote on this. Have a fantastic Friday. Hope you enjoy this view as much as I did. I'll give you guys a little bit of a zoom there. Isn't that beautiful? Hey, have a great Friday. I'll talk to you later.